Okay, guys, I have got an absolute legend on the show. He's back again. I had him on last year and I have him on again because he's such a nice chap. Thomasgronnemark, my friend from Denmark, the LFC Throwin coach. How are you, Thomas?
Yeah, I'm fine, Dave. Yeah, doing well here in Denmark, traveling all around the world at the moment with my throw-ins. So, of course, helping Liverpool FC too. But yeah, so enjoying it, yeah?
It's absolutely brilliant. I was listening to a podcast a few weeks ago, and I think it's called Your Journey, Thomas Gronnemark, The Journey. And it's basically yourself. I'd like to have a little chat about that. Not go in too deep, but, a broad stroke, as they say. So, growing up in Denmark, you're a big football fan yourself as a kid, and you were quite good at football as a kid. Yeah, growing up?
Yeah, growing up, yeah, I've been playing football since I was like 5 years old or so, and really looked up to my big cousins, Ben and Johnny, who were like 8, 10 years older than me, and then they could do like really awesome long throw-ins. So when you're a small kid and looking up to them, it's wow. Whoa, that's amazing! So I tried to do it as a teenager, and hey, I developed a really good throw in, and also like played like you say, Dave, on the highest youth level in Denmark, the best U19 league, and also played against really good players like, for example, Thomas Graversen many times, who later
Wow,
played for
yes,
for
yes.
Celtic and Real Madrid, and I was actually like a pretty good talent, but I wasn't good enough to be a professional football player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was had that really long throwing, and then I was just lightning fast. I never lost a running duel in my entire life in football. So in the mid 90s, I went to athletics just to try out. Hey, how big is my talent? Because hey, you never know. Because on a football pitch, you also run against like really slow players, and but I came on the Danish national team already the first year I was training, like running sprint, 100, 200, 400 meters and relays, and was there for 6 years on the Danish national team. All 6 years, several time Danish champion on the 200 and 400 meters, and also won the European Championship in the 4
Wow.
by 400 meter relay for club teams in Paris in year 2000. So all in all, it was a success. And then, yeah, I needed to change sport in 2002. So I went on to becoming a part of the Danish national bobsleigh team. So again, yes, that's a crazy sport, driving approximately 130, 150 kilometers per hour and crashing sometimes. But hey, we traveled all around the world for 4 years, whole Europe, Canada, the States. So yeah, had a fantastic time
Wow.
there, and yeah, and it was actually in the middle of that bobsleigh period where the idea about being a throwing coach was born.
Yeah. Did you ever see the film Cool Runnings about the Jamaican bobsled team?
Yeah. I've seen it. I've been, and we've been riding against the Jamaicans many times, in competitions and World Cups and so. It's a fantastic story, and what a film it was with, of course, with the Jamaicans itself, but also with John Candy,
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
coach.
yeah. He
So
passed away. Yeah.
yeah, I talk with old people, and they just love cool runnings, no matter if they're interested in sports or not, because this is just a fairy tale, with this Jamaican bobsled team. So yeah, it was totally great.
So it would be safe to say you're a sporty chap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of sports, of course. The football, the athletics on highest level, the bobsleighing, been setting world records in the
Yeah.
throw-ins, been playing basketball myself, mostly street basketball, doing the throwing coaching thing. So I just love many different sports, and trying to take the best part of every sport and trying to put these parts into new worlds, new sporting worlds, or for over to companies, because I'm also a motivational speaker. Been doing over 500 talks for companies.
Wow.
So for me, it's about taking the best things from some parts of the world and then try to inspire other people, or take them yourself into a new arena. So I just
Brilliant.
love that.
Absolutely brilliant. You're definitely motivational. You're motivating me, my friend. Um, but the thing about it is the throw-in coach. I mean, a lot of people. I played a bit of amateur football myself back in the '90s. Now, it wasn't particularly good. It wasn't at your level, let's say that. But the throw-in as a kid for me was just something to get rid of the ball. You're on the sideline. I've got a ball in your hand. Just get rid of it to anybody. Just get the game flowing again.
Yeah.
But when in your mind did it become more than that and say, okay, hold on, maybe there's something to this throwing thing?
Yeah, again back to the bobsleigh period in 2004. I thought, hey, because we had a cooperation with the German national bobsleigh team too, and trained together with them. And one day we played like an indoor football match, and it was just like on this 40-meter long indoor pitch, and we had a throw in the Danish team, and I just suddenly threw the ball from one end of the pitch to the other, and everybody just looked. But for me, it was normal because I always had that long throw in. But then that day I thought, hey, if I can make a good throw in, can't I teach other players to do it? So I went down to my local library in Denmark when I came back from that bobsleigh trip and tried to find a book about throw-ins, but there was no books at all. And yeah, I thought, hey, I have to make my own throwing course. So I used approximately 6 months to make a throwing course. I just went down to every week down to my local stadium when I was home from the bobsleigh, and we just filmed myself and analyzed myself and tried everything and experimented and everything. How is it when you have this distance between your feet? How is it with your hip, the grip on the ball, the running, and many other things? Yeah, and then suddenly had a long throwing course in October 2004. And to be honest, I didn't know if it would work. So, of course, I could have been starting with a youth or amateur team or even small kids. But I had the courage to ask a local Superliga team in Denmark called Viborg if they want to hire me. And they said yes. They had a really innovative head coach called Ove Christensen at that time. And he said yes, and they improved their long throw-ins a lot, scored a lot of goals, and the club had its best placement in the Danish Superliga ever in the club's history that season. So all in all, it was success. The year after, it was FC Midtjylland, an even better team from Denmark, scored a lot of goals on the long throw-in too. And then, I thought, hey, it's only about the long throw-in. But then the third season, I coached a smaller team called Silkeborg. And when I was hired in the middle of the season, they had like a really set-piece coach, set-piece head coach who loved corners, free kicks, long throw-ins. But just after I was hired, he was sacked. And then there was another coach in there called Preben Lundby, and he didn't like long throw-ins at all. So even though I was training a couple of the guys from the team and still got paid, they didn't take any long throw-ins. So I was really frustrated because it's not only about payment, it's also about motivation, having joy in training. So, but yeah, they didn't make any long throw-ins at all. So I was sitting watching one of their games. They didn't take any long throw-ins, so I thought, hey, that's pretty boring. But then suddenly they had a throw-in in the middle of the pitch, and they lost the possession. Then they had a new one a couple of minutes after, lost that possession, and the next possession again, I thought, hey, losing the ball 3 times in a row on a normal throw-in the middle of the pitch, that can't be real. So that made me think, hey, how is the level of throw-ins under pressure where the players are marked on the teams in Europe? So I started to watch all games I could from Premier League, Bundesliga, CAR, all the big leagues there. And I was totally in shock because I realized that most teams had a possession in under 50% of the circumstances where it had a throw-in under pressure, where the players are marked. So I couldn't believe that it was true because if you have the same possession percentage in the middle of the pitch with your feet, let's just say you keep it in 35% or lose it in 65%, if you had that as a central midfielder, you'll say about that player, oh, he can't play at all, he has to play Sunday league football instead. But the funny thing is that like you mentioned yourself a little bit before, Dave, is that when there is a throw-in, people didn't really care, it's just a throw and just put it in there. But it has the same consequence. If you keep the ball, you have control, you can create a chance, you can score a goal. If you lose the ball, you're often caught out of balance and then the opponents can score a goal. But it's just been neglected for 140 years. So when I saw that, I realized that I knew it was not only about the long throwing. So I started developing what I call my long, fast, and clever throw-in philosophy. And just to, of course, we can talk about it later, but just to put it short, fast throw-ins is about throwing it fast when you have a throw-in, marking fast when the opponents have a throw-in, and then the clever throw-ins is about creating space all over the pitch. So you can either keep possession or create a chance to score a goal. So I worked with that for that theory since like 2007. But my big challenge was that all the teams only wanted my knowledge around the long throw-in. So I was totally frustrated. I was in FC Midtjylland here from 2015 to 2018. They only won by knowledge around the long throwing, but we scored 35 goals in 4 seasons, or approximately 9 goals per season on long throwings. They were also Danish champion twice in that period.
Yeah.
I was 2 years in Brentford before I came to Liverpool. And I had a fantastic time there, but they also only wanted my knowledge around the long throw. And even though I tried to say, hey, these fast and clever throw-ins are important, and no, it's just a long throw-in. So it was actually first when Jurgen Klopp called me directly on the phone in July 2018 that I got the chance to work with the fast and clever throw-ins.
Yeah, and that famous phone call that you got, which basically, well, let's say literally changed your life, but I mean, changed it in a better way, didn't it? It was like Willy Wonka in a chocolate factory, basically.
Yeah, it was. I've been having a great life until that too, because for example, I've been working many years with kids and youngsters. It's really fantastic work. Yeah. And on the other, of course, I've been a throwing coach for many years since 2004, but that was not full time. And then in like from 2016, 17, 18, I started doing a lot of motivational talks here in Denmark, and actually in 2018 I had 80 talks for companies, so that was already there, really, really big. But of course, like you say yourself, when Jürgen called it opened up another world. Of course, I had to have success with the team before, but people could already from the start see that Liverpool improved a lot, and it's been meaning that I've been the last 3 full seasons, but also this she's been working with like 8-10 professional clubs per season. Just let me just take from this season from July. I've been in Pachuca in Mexico. Then I'm coaching in Italy. I have 2 teams in France. I also in September coached the national team in Mexico. Of course, Liverpool, other teams. So
Wow.
I'm just living the dream, because it's not only about winning titles for me, Premier League, Champions League, all the other things, with Ajax, with FC Midtjylland, with Flamengo in Brazil, I helped them too. But for me, it's also about, first of all, of course, improving the football world in general, so we have better throw-ins. But it's also, when I'm coming to a country, I'm using a lot of time to see architecture, sculptures, nature, everything, So for me, it's fantastic to be a freelance throwing coach. And some people have asked me, hey, wouldn't you rather be full-time in one club?
Yeah.
And perhaps if they paid me more than I'm earning now. But if I got the same, I'd rather be freelance, because it gives so many great adventures. Opportunities and adventures around the world. And just being in Mexico twice here in the last like 3-4 months here, it's like I've been traveling to the whole Europe many times, Canada, the States, but coming to Mexico, where people have so little, most Mexicans, they're really, they don't have much money, but they have a really big heart. They're really kind. They're really helpful. There are so many colors over in that country there, with the different houses. It's, here in Europe, it's mostly like a little bit sand colors. And Denmark, England, approximately the same. But in Mexico, many houses are just like yellow and blue and green and red. So of course there are also challenges there with criminality and things like that, and of course that's a whole other world too. But all in all, it's just it's been a big adventure for me. Yeah.
So I'm just going to ask you 1 or 2 questions about the Liverpool thing, and then I actually want to ask you. You've been all over the world, as you just said. I mean, you must have some little nice story from being traveling around somewhere, even a funny story type of thing. It doesn't have to be too serious. But the Liverpool, you were there this season, weren't you? Started this season, you were at Kirby, the new training ground.
Yeah, no. First I was with the team on training camp in Austria. So So and that was the same place as we were like last season too. Or I think the last four seasons have been on every preseason training camp. So been twice to Evian in France the first 2 years, and then twice in Austria. Also been in Marbella like 1.5 years ago or so in the week 7 training camp when there was this little winter break there. So. And then it was like, I don't know, two weeks ago I was in Kirkby on the new facility there.
Wow, it looks really good, doesn't it? Wow,
Wow,
5-star hotel.
and it's just like, wow, it's totally crazy. And of course, there are some historical things to Millwood, and fantastic place. Every time I've been to Millwood, it's been like a dream. But if you're looking at the facilities, it's even better here. Of course, you have to create a new story, a new culture here. Not a new culture, but it's a new place. So I think it'll be legendary too in time. And then it's, of course, there are like Mona Nemmer's food you have there. She's just fantastic.
The nutritionist, isn't she? A nutritionist, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it was in Melwood here in the new place in Kirkby or on training camp. She's there too. And I actually made a tweet here, like I don't know, 3 weeks ago when I just visited Liverpool there, because he just published a book about nutrition in Liverpool FC. I can just recommend it, because some people say to me, hey, you've been traveling to 40 countries or so, where is the best restaurant? And I'm saying the best restaurant is together with Liverpool. Yeah, it's actually together with Liverpool FC. And some say, that must be a Michelin restaurant instead. You fancy. No, the best thing is in Liverpool FC, because first of all, the quality is so high. It's not like if you're a sportsman, a sportswoman, or you just want to live healthy, it's the perfect food. That's one thing. The quality is so high, and then you see the things you can choose from. It's just crazy. So every time I'm together with Liverpool FC, I'm just eating so well. So I can only recommend the book from Mona Nemmer, because I bought it myself. And I also did a tweet about her book too. So it's really like it's.
Have you got the book there? Have you got the book?
No, not here. I think it's. I don't have it here, but but I have it in another room. But I could actually recommend it. It's just fantastic. So and that's the way it is with Liverpool FC. There's nothing that's a coincidence. It's you think about everything who can make a difference for the players and the staff.
Yeah, I think Klopp is a perfectionist as well, and his staff, to be fair. And I mean, even like getting you in, like as a throwing coach, other teams be looking at going, what is he doing there? You know what I mean? And like nutritionists, scientists, it's all, there's nothing left to chance basically at Liverpool. I don't think everything is there for a reason, isn't it? At the top clubs, at any top club.
Yeah, I'll say not in any top club, because I won't say any names or clubs or so. But for me, it's like there's nothing standing in the way of getting the best things done in every area in Liverpool FC. But I see in some clubs there are like more traditional. Some clubs they want to, only hire certain people because they are already known in the club, have that club DNA. Or we only do this and this and this. We done that for like 20 years. It has to be that. No, because the challenge with that kind of thinking is, of course, we get the people we already know, and you think, he or she's one of ours. But on the other hand, there's a chance that you won't get the best people. So that's the good thing about my feeling in Liverpool FC, is that they're bringing in the best people. It's and when you bring in the best people, you are letting them shine. No one told me in Liverpool FC, hey, you have to do this, you have to do this, or try to do a little bit like we did before, just switch it a little bit. No, I've been given an open role. Of course, I'm I'm discussing with and talking with Jurgen Klopp, the other coaches. I'm talking with the analysis people, the physiotherapists, the physical coaches, and so on and so on and so on. Of course, I do that. But in Liverpool FC, I got the feeling that people are able to shine. And then people are not afraid. In some, not even only in football clubs, but also in some companies, people are led by fear. So they're forced to perform because if you don't perform, something bad will happen. You don't. People not. It's not saying that, but that's actually what people feel. So when you are like trying to perform because of fear, it's only also the situation where you won't really share that idea or that knowledge with your colleague or the other person from the other department. So my feeling in Liverpool FC is that people are open-minded, that people can share their ideas and knowledge, because and that's for me, this is the most important thing, that people trust each other, that people have really good relations. So many places, also in normal companies, people are starting with other things. They're starting with, we have to do this, you have to be able to do this, you have to do it in this way. But hey, for me, that's starting the wrong place. You have to start with good relations. Do you have good relations? Do you trust each other? Do you put time off to create these good relations? When you have the good relations, it's suddenly much easier for me to say, for example, if I'm working with you, Dave, it's much easier for me to say, hey, Dave, I have this challenge here. I can't really find out, or I'm struggling with this. If I have a good relation with you, I can ask you for help. And on the other hand, if I've been reading something about, let's say, you on YouTube, so I've been reading something about YouTube that's totally new. If I don't have a good relation with you, I'll never say it to you, because then I don't want you to be better than me, But if I have a really good relation, I'm saying immediately to you, hey, Dave, have you heard about that? I'm sending you a link. So instead of pushing each other down, we are growing. So perhaps you'll be a little bit better than me, but it doesn't really matter, because we are both coming this way. So that's the work environment I feel there is in Liverpool FC. I really love it. Yeah,
which is built for success, basically, and we've had it in the last 2 or 3 seasons, of course. And before we stop talking about Liverpool, I want to ask you about one other thing as well. Liverpool, people don't realise this, but in 17-18, before you came in, Liverpool's throw-ins were absolutely terrible. They were really low. When you were low on the table, and when you came in, the following year, of course, we won the Champions League 2019, and we almost won the league and went on better. But the ratio of throw-ins just went up and through the roof. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was crazy, because Liverpool Liverpool FC has their own data they won't tell. Of course, you won't share that. I have my own data, but it's not like of course, if I'm talking about myself, it's not so trustworthy as if it's other people who are saying it. So these numbers here, they are from Tifo Football, like a company who's looking into this. You can find them on YouTube and other places too, and on social media. And they found out that in the 17-18 season, before I arrived, where the club had the 4th place in the Premier League and lost the Champions League final to Real Madrid, that Liverpool had a possession on 45.4% on throw-ins under pressure. And a throw-in under pressure is where the players are marked. So you don't count in, the no pressure throw-ins where the opponents are 20, 30 meters away. But that 45.4% possession in 17-18 season, Liverpool were only number 18 out of 20 in the Premier League, so third last. And like Jurgen Klopp said to me, we were really bad at the throw-ins, even though we're a good team. And he tried to do something about it, but it didn't really help. That's the reason why he called me. But then in the 18-19 season, according to Tifo Football, Liverpool FC improved to 68.4%, went up with 23%, and went from number 18 in the Premier League to number 1 in the Premier League. Also to number 2 in the whole Europe, just after one of my other teams, FC Midtjylland from Denmark. So, it's a thing you can improve. The challenge for most teams is that you haven't really worked with it. So what many teams are doing, if they can't, if the players are standing still, they're just hurling the ball, up the line,
Yeah.
or they are suddenly, if a teammate is coming like 4 or 5 meters from them, then they throw to that teammate, even though he's like totally marked and pressured. And then you're coming into these small pressure zones, a really, really high risk of losing the ball. So teams have done these horrible things because they haven't worked with it in training. I talk with many coaches, even coaches in at the highest level, and they're saying, no, we're not always playing with throw-ins because it's much easier to just do a kick in or so. But the challenge is that if the players are not working with the throw-ins in training, you can't expect that they are delivering at a high level in a match. So yes, and again, to add on a couple of things more, the last 3 full seasons we scored between 10 and 14 goals after throwing situations all around the pitch. And it's both when we have it, most of them are when we have the ball ourselves or the throwing ourselves, but some of them has also been when the opponents have a throw-in, because, and especially with Liverpool FC, it's like really elite pressure, but also like speed when you get the ball. It's just so dangerous to lose the ball against us. So yes, the throw-ins have improved just like totally wild. Of course, it's not only me, it's the other coaches, it's Jürgen, it's of course most importantly the players, because they've been open-minded, received my ideas, starting to think the throw-ins in a new way. Instead of something isolated, it's just a throw-in. We know now that these normally 40 to 60 throw-ins in Liverpool FC, they are like integrated part of the game. It's just another thing where you have to think in another way, create space in another way. We have different zones and so on, and doing all the basic things too. So it's been fantastic, and it's been even more fantastic for me regarding the fast and clever throw-ins, because the long throw-ins, they're a little bit more easy to measure. Like, for example, how much are the players improving? Most of my players are improving between 5 and 15 meters over a period, just with technical improvement, no weight training, because most players are really throwing bad. You can also say, like I said, with FC Midtjylland, scored 35 goals in 4 seasons, or approximately 9 goals per season with long throw-ins. I had a team called Horsens in the Danish Superliga in the, 16-17 season. They scored 10 goals after long throw-ins, in that season too. So long throw-ins are much more easy to measure and easy to see, But the fast and clever throw-ins, even though of course you can measure it, and we are getting better and better to do that, it was really important for me that a third part like Tifo Football came and measured that, because now it was clear for people to see that, first of all, you can actually do something with your possession if you have the right throwing coaching, but it was also easy for people to see that Liverpool had improved. And of course it's been meaning a lot for me. Of course, most important is what it meant for Liverpool FC, because they hired me, but it's also been meaning a lot for me regarding other clubs around the world. So
yeah, no, it's absolutely brilliant. And as you said before, I think you had a quote that it's all about control. It's all about controlling the ball. If you control the ball, you control the pitch and the game, basically.
Yeah.
That's basically it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's totally right, because you can have a control in many different ways. Of course, you can have like total
possession,
possession, relaxed control, where you say we just want to keep it, and it can also be okay sometimes, to play it back to your central defenders and just build up from the back. That's okay. But we can also say, if you have the right knowledge, you can also say, okay, we are waiting for this opportunity, that space to be created. And we know if we create that kind of space here, for example, diagonal up the opponent's part of the pitch, then we know that then there is a good chance that we can create a chance ourselves, or even score a goal. And if we lose it here, it's actually okay, because we have been creating some space that actually allow us to have a chance to get really lucky. So it's also about to know what chances are safe, what space are safe and what space is really potentially a goal scorer. So but again, many teams, they're just like don't know anything. You're standing there as a fullback. Your teammates are either not moving at all or only doing individual movement. And individual movement or space creation, it's where the players are only moving for themselves and not for their teammates. So you can see three players outside the thrower, like just running back and forth. With that, first of all, you're not creating really good space. And the second thing is that it's much easier to pressure a player who's doing individual space creation because you can just follow him, and make the pressure when you want.
It's like a decoy or a dummy run or a decoy run,
Yeah, you can just say, and you're totally right, Dave. You can just say that some people think that when I'm coaching, it's about we're doing one thing here, and then we're doing it all the time, or we have two things we do. No, I'm. Let me just say, if we had a throw in the middle of the pitch, I'm having like 10 basic ways or spaces where we can create some valuable space, either for possession or chance creating. But these 10 different basic ways can be done in like hundreds of ways in theory, because you have different amount of players, number of players, you have different angles, you have different distances, different kind of timing, and so on and so on. So in theory, when we have a throw in, we can do it in hundreds or thousands of ways. So it's not like in American football where you have a playbook where you say Firmino runs there, Henry runs there, Sadio runs there. No, a lot of people think that. So for example, for some of the goals we've been scoring after throw-ins, some people have been saying, and analysis people have been saying, hey, you just do like Liverpool. So he has to run there, he has to run there, and then he has to run there. No, it's not the way it's working, because yes, of course you can do that. But it's a little bit like if you only have 2 or 3 solutions in each zone, it's easy to read. So for me, it's much more if you raise the players, throw in intelligence instead, and reading the game, the opponent's defending patterns, reading the teammates' space creation, and so let's just say that the players are creating space for, let me say, 12 or 15 seconds or so before the ball comes. We could have been making perhaps, I don't know, 12, 15, 20 different kinds of spaces, or try to do it. And no one knows what kind of space we'll use, because we try to read the best space. So, and of course it takes some time to learn that. I could also go out on the pitch with you, Dave, and a couple of your mates, and then I'll say, okay, we rehearse this for 30 minutes. You run there, and we can do it like 20 times, and you can do it in sleep. But the first time,
it's alien. It's alien.
Yeah. So I'm not saying the only way to do it is my way, but I just think it's the best way well,
it works, Thomas. It has worked for Liverpool. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm happy with the progression of the players, and of course I always try to put on new things and so on. It's for me it's been a challenging period with
COVID.
With COVID, because for a really long period, for like, let me see, in a period I was only with the team like one time on a period of a year, and the first 2 seasons I was there like 5 visits, like a week per season, so 10 times in 2 seasons there, and I've always been analyzing all the matches and sending reports, but I also need to work on the pitch. So from the end of the Corona lockdown, and then all the way to the start of this season, I haven't been really much with the Liverpool team like in person. And the funny thing is actually, and I guess it's sorry, I guess it's because of Brexit that it's been much easier for me to come into Mexico than to UK. It's a little bit scary. Been traveling to France, I've been traveling to Italy, I've been traveling to Belgium, all Europe, but UK is almost like, it's almost been impossible to come in. The only other country where I had that challenge was like in the States.
Yeah.
in USA. Yeah. So, but they're also like opening up now. So that's, to be honest, that's been a challenge. But again, it's more open now. Been traveling a lot. Yeah, especially since July, and let's see what's going on now with the COVID, because on one hand the numbers are up now of
Yeah.
infected, but on the other hand we also have a lot of vaccinated people, and I think that more and more will be getting vaccinated now. So I think that, of course, again, let's just see, but I don't think it'll be as hard this winter as last winter. So
No, no, no.
but again, let's see. Yeah.
So, as you said, you traveled around the world a lot, and you must have some little story there, some little funny, sort of quirky story that something happened and it was, I know you obviously like traveling. You must like traveling, Tom.
Yeah, I really love to travel, and I don't know if I have some funny stories, but yeah, but I'll say that my biggest, not my biggest challenge, but one of my challenges when I'm traveling is that I'm uh, I'm always gaining weight when I'm traveling, and then losing weight when I come home, because we're eating pretty healthy. I won't say I'll never eat a cake at home. Of course, I do that and things like that. But often, both in, for example, in the 2 weeks in Mexico in July and September, it was like, of course, paid with a salary. But I was also living at a hotel where you can just order anything you want in a restaurant, and and it was all paid for. And it was not because I was greedy; it was more, I just love food from a new country. And even though I have been trying Mexican food here in Denmark and other places in Europe, it's a whole lot of things to come to Mexico. And it was not always that I understood what was on the menu. So sometimes I just ordered too much. I had a day where I ordered I actually ordered two main dishes and then a dessert. And because I thought the first one was like a small one and the second one was not big, and then I got like two gigantic like dishes, and then afterwards the dessert. And normally I was just like almost bursting, but I just thought, hey, there are so many poor people in Mexico. You have to eat it. So, because I couldn't just say, yeah, just leave it. So when I walked up from that table, it's it was hard to walk there. So yeah, of course I got a lot of stories too, but I think a lot of stories also personal, not necessarily for me because I'm making a lot of fun of myself, but more with the players, and so, because it's like I'm not really the guy who's into like if I'm making fun stories, it's with myself, so
yeah. It doesn't have to be fun. It doesn't even have to be fun. It's just general, like, you've seen a lot, you've done a lot in the last few years. And I mean, you seem like you've enjoyed it, which helps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm seeing so many different things around the world, and also when I was in Pachuca in Mexico in July, again, like I told before, there's a lot of positive things with Mexico, and I can only recommend a visit to Mexico. It's like coming to another world, at least if you compare it to Europe. But it's also the criminality there. It's it's really, really scary because, and of course, it's only a very few percentage of a low percentage of the Mexican. But a lot of places, the houses are like with 5, 7, 8 meters walls with barbed wire on the top, and in a lot of areas you don't go out when it's dark, and so
it's like a compound. It'd be like a compound, wouldn't it? You wouldn't
So I think it's scary, and no matter if you live in the UK or England or Denmark, we are just so safe compared to that. So I think sometimes we forget how lucky we are, to even people who have a little in Denmark and England, they have much more than most people in Mexico. But again, I've been saying so many positive things from there too, and then of course, as I mentioned again before, I've been coaching in France and Italy, and going places like this, like Southern Europe, with warm weather, and you're sitting there with a espresso or eating Italian food. It's like, of course, it's total luxury. So I just try to enjoy it, because to be honest, I don't know if this will stop in a year, or this will I can continue for the rest of my life until I don't want anything more. Perhaps some would say in the future, we don't want throw-ins, we rather want kick-ins. But for me, that'll be the stupidest thing to do in the whole world. If someone said that, if FIFA said that too, and why is it? Because I'm a throwing coach? No, it's not. The reason is that if you're looking at different sports, let's just say hockey, let's say basketball, let's say, okay, handball is not so popular in England, but all these team sports, what is good there? The fantastic thing with team sport is, if you build up pressure and you are in a pressure challenge, if you come out of that pressure, it's like a pressure relief. And then you have free space, and then you can score or have a chance. It's the same in football also, if you're playing inside the pitch. And it's a little bit the same with the throw-ins. Some people say, oh, it's hard with the throw-in. No, it's not hard. You just need the knowledge. But what's good with the throw-in is that if you're creating space, getting rid of that pressure, playing in other zones, and then suddenly you can score, that gets a good feeling. It's entertaining. If you want to have kick-ins, there are two things that's really a big challenge. First of all, you'll see some teams who are doing instead of short kick-ins, they'll do like long kick-ins, so put everybody up in the penalty area, and already now, if they have a free kick at the midline, we have some teams where they're putting the whole team up there, so we get so many of these long balls, and I don't think many fans are interested in that. On the other hand, you can also say, if you're playing with short kick-ins, the challenge there is that, I don't know if you've been seeing futsal, but it's a little bit like you have to keep distance. You have to keep distance to the receiver.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. But it's a little bit like a short corner. You have to keep distance to the receiver. You can't get all the way to pressure. So the reason is that you are taking away a lot of pressure situations in a football game. So it's a little bit like, you're getting a lot of entertainment out. So instead of like some people are saying, oh, we'd rather have a kick in instead of throw-ins because it's hard. No, it's much better to try to do better throw-ins, because you can see with Liverpool FC and a few of the teams have improved too, that if they're doing fantastic throw-ins, they can do anything. And then some people have been saying, the throw-in is hard because you have one throw and then it's like out on the pitch, it's like 10 against 11, then it's you're down with one, it's much harder. No, that's just rubbish. Of course, if you look at the numbers, exact numbers, they're right. But being good at throw-ins is about seeing where can you create the best space. And if you have the knowledge around creating space in every part of the pitch, you can also look where is the opponent weak. So in some areas the opponent will be +1 or +2, and it'll be stupid to try to create space where the opponents are +2. So you try to create space where you are at least the equal amount of players. So if you find an area where it's 3 against 3, that's really good, because then you can create space. Because but of course, even better if you're +1, if you suddenly have a situation with the sixer and a central defender, and you only have one striker who's trying to shadow mark. Of course, the easiest thing is to pull that striker in some kind of direction so we keep possession. So the argument that you're one man less, you can say, that's right in theory, but actually it's all about knowing where to throw it.
But that one man less is in control of the ball, by the way. You know what I mean? So there's another way of looking at it. He's the guy with the ball.
But you're totally right. But again, let's see what happens. No matter if this ends in a year, I've been having the best 4 or 5 years of my life, traveling the world, winning titles. And if it continues, like I hope that I'm not only helping professional teams, but also helping youth and amateur teams by publishing my book about throw-ins in the future, doing online courses, and so helping many other teams. Then it's just fantastic. So I'm taking life one day at a time, trying to get the best out of every day. So I think that of course it's fantastic to have this life travel to clubs, seeing different countries and so on and so on. But I think if you break it all down, for me it's like it's the small things in life that matters. I like a good cup of coffee. I like to talk with exciting people like I'm talking with you today. It's all these small things. Have a good time with my family, my wife, my kids. Seeing a good football match, taking a walk. Of course you can go somewhere really fancy, book a trip to the States for 3 weeks, but you can also take a trip to the local lake or to the sea or a fantastic forest, and you get a lot there. So these things, no one can take that away from you. And you have to remember that you don't have to be unsatisfied. So of course it's an add-on for me. It's a bonus for me right now in my life, and of course I love to share it with other people too. But again, I think it's the small things that matters the most.
Absolutely. Same here, my friend. And as I heard you saying a book, that was my next question. I think I can hear a book coming on hopefully in the next year or two or so, because I'm sure you've so much stuff to put down. So many stories to tell, and
I'll probably publish 2 books. I've actually already been publishing a book in Denmark in 2016 called Lazy Energy. It's like a motivational book with the 7 lazy principles. A lot of companies have booked they talk about the book because they don't want to hear the normal talk about hard work and we have to do everything. So my lazy energy with the 7 lazy principles, a little bit like humoristic approach to normal things, like I'm saying instead of saying, oh, get the right resources in, then my 5th lazy principle is called let the others do the work. Things like around good relations, it's called pull the others down in the couch. That's like the 2nd lazy principle. So I already published that in Denmark. It's not in English. But I'll probably publish like a motivational book about reaching your goals, dreams, getting knowledge, share knowledge, and so I'll probably publish that, and then of course also publish a throw-in book, at some point. But I think that the motivational book there in English will come like pretty soon, and then the throw-in book that's a little bit strategy, because I'm a little bit unsure when I want to share my secrets, because right now it goes really well. So so it's
you don't want Thomasgronnemark Mark II going around. You know what I mean?
No, but of course I will publish in at one stage with the throw-in book. But if it'll be in 1 year or 3 years or 5 years, I can't say. But already been writing 110,000 words, so it's like I have tons of knowledge and drills and everything too. And people are really crazy about the knowledge. I have free drills on my homepage, Thomasgronnemark.com, and these free drills are already picked up by 4,500 coaches from 160 different countries around the world. So it's not like only Europe. It's like and people say, oh, when does the book come? And I say, in the future. I don't. So it's a little bit, it's a little hard for me because I'm also disappointing a lot of people by not publishing right now. But I also have to think a little bit about myself and
your family.
Yeah. So also them. So. Yeah.
But Thomas, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you go. That was a motivational speech just there. Those 49 minutes. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for coming on again. Thank you very much, my friend.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome, Dave. And yeah, maybe we'll see each other another time. It's been fantastic talking to you. It's really motivational for me to talk with a guy like you. You're meeting people and you can instantly feel when you're filled up with energy. So I really appreciate you as a person, but also your style here in this interview. So thanks a lot to you too.
And as I always say, stay safe. Hope your family and yourself are well and absolutely brilliant. And Christmas coming up as well. Happy Christmas as well. So I know it's early, but And as I say, I hope to meet you someday soon as well. Thank you
Yeah,
very
that would be
much.
pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Bye bye.
You'll never walk